You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to giving you the inside scoop on what's happening on the lakes and waterways of our region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. Your host, V&M Baits General Manager Kevin Jean and Camus Boats Pro Staffer Steve Graff. Two guys with years of tournament experience with Pro-Am circuits like ABA, BFLs, Toyota Series, and BASS Opens. Anglers willing to share their knowledge and to give you inside information to make you a better angler. So get ready to take some notes and learn exactly how anglers are catching the big stringers right here on Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome to Tackle Talk Live on Tuesday, February the 7th of 2023. I'm Camus Boats Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager Kevin Jean. And today, Kevin, well, I'll tell you, Toledo Bend last weekend was absolutely insane, especially for our special guest today, Cody Pitt.
Steve, I just want to be the first to say, I predicted this.
Yeah.
I predicted this, and hats off to Cody. Tater Reynolds, 32 pounds, second place. What a weekend for Toledo Bend. Now, let's just be truthful and honest here. The big fish bit, but Steve, also it only took 10 pounds to get a check.
Yeah. There's two stories here. Yeah.
There is. The big fish bit. There were some big sacks caught, but also the fish. I don't believe the numbers, but and I was on the water. I was on the water Saturday and Sunday practicing for Bass Champs. I didn't fish BFL just because I haven't had a chance to be on the water very much. I want to get more practice in. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's fishing tough, but the big fish are biting. I didn't catch a whole lot of fish, and what I hear from a lot of people, they didn't catch a whole lot of fish.
Right.
So it's like you just go out there and whack them, but the big ones are biting.
Well, the thing about it, a guy asked me the other day, he goes, man, how many times you come in with 30 plus pounds and not win a tournament? I said, well, wait a minute. First of all, I ain't never come in with 30 plus pounds to win a tournament, but to come in with 31 and thinking, surely I've won this thing. I mean, Tater Reynolds has got to be just shaking his head like, you got to be kidding me. You went catch 31 pounds and you still don't win. But anyway.
It's one of those things. You catch 30 pounds, hey, I call 30. I did my job,
Exactly. And again, as you point out, the big ones bit. There were 5 bass over 10 pounds for this event that were caught. Kevin, is this a sign of things to come for Toledo Bend this spring? Could be the norm?
Yeah. No, this is not the norm. 40 pounds is not the norm. Don't get me wrong. The big fish bit on Saturday. But I've been saying this for 2 months now, Steve. Toledo Bend's getting right.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying you're going to go out there and catch 100, but the big weights will start to show back up on Toledo Bend. The fishing is getting better. The big fish are popping up again. Now, this coming week in Bass Champs, I don't know if it's going to take 40 to win it. We'll ask Cody his thoughts, but it's going to take some big bags. It will take a big bag to win it this coming weekend, 30 plus. I'm going to say it'll take another 30 plus pound bag to win it. But I think the bottom weights will be a little bit better this coming weekend with this warmer trend we have. I'm going to say it's going to take almost 15 to 16 to get a check in Bass Champs this weekend. I just think Toledo Bend is setting up just right for this spring, and I'm looking for not only the next weekend, I'm looking for big bags all throughout the spring for Toledo Bend.
And Kevin, honestly, it's early. It's still early. We're in the first week of February. We're not into the prime time season yet. I mean, we're a month away probably from the prime stuff really kicking in. But
this is prime big fish, though, Steve. This is when the big ones. It is
prime big fish, but it's going to get even better, I think, as you get closer even to March, just because the big females are going to start pulling up. They're going to, especially if we have these warming trends like we've got right now coming up. Of course, we're not through with cold. We all know we'll get another cold snap, maybe even 2 before we even get through March, because there's always a week in March where the temperature drops and you're like, man, and it slows everything back down again. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, Toledo Bend should have a great spring. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to have the Toledo Bend BFL champion, Cody Pitt. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your healthcare needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market from Sea Arc and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins, as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support Garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Knee Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santone, Spro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress Knee has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49, or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in today. Kevin Jean, along with myself, the Camus Pro staffer Steve Graff. And hey, this segment presented by Toledo Health, The Boat Shop, and 3J's four-way home of Cypress Knee Outdoors. For all your bait and tackle needs headed up towards Toledo Bend, coming up I-49, hey, stop in Cypress Knee and pick you up. They got great burgers. They got fried chicken. They got a great deli there. But while you're picking up your tackle, and a great selection of V&M Baits, they got everything V&M offers in that store. And so, hey, check them out. Cypress Knee Outdoors, right there off I-49. On the Tackle Talk hotline, we have the man who absolutely hammered on this past weekend in the BFL, Cody Pitt. Cody, congratulations, man. What a great day of fishing you had on Toledo Bend.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And we're going to go ahead and say 40. We're going to go ahead and say 40 pounds.
Yeah,
Cody. We're not going with 39.15. It's 40 pounds.
Yeah, round it on up. Yeah.
Cody, look, let's jump right in this thing. We're not, and again, I know you got bass champs coming up. I mean, you've already talked off air. Some things we're not going to talk about. Some things we're not going to ask. There's a lot of big tournaments coming up on Toledo Bend. Anything that you feel like is a little too much you don't want to give out, just let us know at any time, and we won't go there. But man, I really want to hear how it went down. As far as, was it a morning spot that you caught all these fish off of, like in 30 minutes, like some big bags we hear, or did it kind of go down all day long?
Absolutely not. I think I fished for an hour and a half without a bite. Well, I caught one Kentucky, about 10 inches long. And then I stayed on that one spot for probably about an hour and a half. I made a move. And there was a place not too far from it that I thought might have a few fish. Well, they wasn't where I thought they was at, but leaving the spot, them fish were a whole lot deeper than what I thought. Those were in 32 foot. And I don't know, there was 10 or 15 there. And I think the first cast, I caught a 6. And then I caught a 2 after that. And then for whatever reason, them fish ended up leaving. So I left there. I think I fished there for maybe 20, 30 minutes. I left. And after that, it was pretty much every spot that I ran to. After that, I caught 2 or 3 big ones. And then I'd make a move and catch a couple big ones. And that was pretty much how the rest of the day went.
So basically running and gunning. It wasn't one spot. It was 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think all in all, I fished 8 or 9 places, and I caught them off of 6 or 7 maybe.
Yeah. Cody, the 13-pound big fish that you had, I mean, dude, there's people fish a lifetime like myself. I've never caught a 13-pounder. Just give us some details on the big fish you caught. Tell us, how you caught it. Was the fish deep, shallow?
What time of the day did you catch it?
Was you early?
I want to say, I think it was 29 and 10 o'clock. I don't know exactly what time, but it was around 9 or 10. She was about 16 foot.
Yeah.
And I caught her on not the first cast. I made a cast that when I pulled up, I made a cast in there. I had a bite, and she didn't hold it. Fished it in, threw back up there, and as soon as it hit the bottom, I hopped it one time. She bit, put her in the net, and I think I made like 5 casts after that, and I caught a 6. But that was that was the only 2 bites I had on that place.
Wow.
Cody, when did things get real for you? So you start the morning out, you catch a 6-pounder, okay, and I mean you're no stranger to these mega 30-pound bags, but when you catch a 6, then you pull up on the next spot, you catch a 13 and a 6, you got 25 with 3 now. I think 25 with 3. I mean, did it get real for you? What could go down at that point?
I mean, man, it's fishing. You don't ever know exactly, but I knew how much stuff I had left to run, which honestly I didn't want to run everything I had. But you put a 13 in your bag, that you don't get many chances in your lifetime to do that. So in my mind, I was like, all right, I really need to, finish it out with some big ones instead of bringing in some 3 and 4 pounders with it. So after I caught her and a 6 right after it, I knew I had like 4 or 5 more places that had big ones. So that was pretty much my plan, was to go catch at least 2 more big ones. That's what I ended up doing.
And when you look at it, I mean, just sitting here looking at Tater Reynolds, probably how he was looking at it when he came in with 30, 31 pounds, he had to feel really, really good coming in that, he got a great shot to win today. And, as we all know at fish tournaments, you just never feel safe. I don't care if you got 35 or 25. You never really feel safe, do you, Cody?
Absolutely not. I knew for a fact him or Cole, they beat my butt too many times last year, and they had them giant ones every single time, and I just had like 5, 6, 7 pounders. I never caught giants last year, and I told myself, even though I've got a 13, well, I think my smallest fish at the time, I kept telling myself I got to get rid of that 4, and if I can catch me another 6 or 7 pounder, I should be all right. And that's when it come down to me running a place I didn't want to go to it, but when I pulled up, the fish were kind of scattered, and my co-angler caught a 7-9 on the first cast. Wasn't even on the spot, and I was like, man, I don't want to sore lip these things. Well, I made a few casts. I ended up catching one about 7 1/4, and I looked at him. I said, we got to go. And after that, I felt pretty good, and I still, for whatever reason, stopped on one more place at the end of the day, and I caught a 6 and a 5 1/2 and about 5 casts. I told him, I said, we done.
And the 5 1/2, Steve, did not help him. The 5 1/2 pounder did not help him. So Cody had 39.15, 40 pounds. Okay, he had a 13 pounder. Steve, he had 4. You still have to have 4 that weigh 27. Yeah, you got to have 4 that weigh 27. So he had what, 2 7s, 2 6s, Cody? 14.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got. I know my smallest one was 6, so I just said 2 7s and 2 6s. The only thing that I weighed was the 13, and the smallest one, that was 6.
Well, I mean, guys, look, we've all fished these kind of tournaments with co-anglers. when you're a co-angler and you come in with 23 pounds out of the back of the boat, that tells you there, your guy is on them.
well, wait a minute, Steve. So we haven't even got to this part yet. So Cody has 40 pounds with 5. His co-angler wins the event also with 23.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question here, Cody, is y'all have 10 fish in the boat that weigh 63 pounds. I know you have a Phoenix. How'd you fit them all in the live well?
And babies was slam packed.
Was you worried about losing the fish?
Now see that last big one that I caught, which was about, I don't know, maybe 130. I caught her on a 10XD and she choked it and it tore her gill all up. So she was bleeding all over the place. Well, then I started panicking. I was like, man, it's hard enough to keep a 13-pounder alive. Now she's stuck in here with 4 other big ones, and then I got one that's bleeding on top of that. It's like, man, I really need to go, because at that point, especially after I caught the 6, the last 6 that I caught, there was no room left in the box. I had to strategically place her in there head first and lay her a certain way just so she would go in. And practically didn't even have no water. So I was to the point to where there was nothing else I could do without putting fish over on his side. But he had a 7.9 and 2 6s in his box.
Dude, that's just unheard of. That is unheard of.
Oh, yeah,
where else in the country, guys, can you go besides maybe Rayburn that you
OHIV? I mean, there's you can count on one hand how many lakes you can go do that on at the right time.
Maybe
no doubt about that. There's one, you can count that on one hand. So, and Cody, I wouldn't ask this question if I've already talked to you beforehand. You told me you didn't mind saying this much, and that was the baits you caught them on. And I know you just said you caught one on a 10XD, and I think you were talking about earlier, it hit the bottom, is hopping. So you caught the 13 and 2 6s on the V&M football jig, right? We're just not going to say what color, but you caught them on the V&M football jig.
I had a 13, a 7, and a 6 on a jig, a 7 on a 10XD, and a 6 on a 6XD.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Wow. That's a heck of a day for sure. Now, when did you know how much you had? When you got
idea.
to the
at one point I tried to add it up. At one point I tried to add it up, but like I said, there was so much in my box when I was trying to cull, I was struggling to know what I was grabbing other than the big one, and I was getting confused, and the only thing that I'd weighed at that point was my smallest fish. I didn't know how big the other 3 was, so I just, in my mind, when I pulled up, I was like, man, I got to have at least 35. Well, then, my wife walks up to the boat when I pulled up to the bank. She's like, Tater had a 12 and he's got 32. And I'm like, please, Lord, tell me I got to have that. I hope.
When you get over
sure.
20 from me, Cody, you run out of toes and fingers. I just quit counting after that point. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a mathematician by any means.
Cody, what's your prediction with this warming trend? What's your prediction to win Bass Champs this coming weekend?
There's a lot of variables that's coming into play. There's a lot of variables. I mean, the water. I'm still checking the water level every hour, and it's still coming up. I don't like that. Because everybody knows what happens when the water's coming up this time of the year. It's warm. I don't like that either. I would rather it be cold, and I do like the fact that they're pulling water 24/7. So you got current. Yeah. That's the only thing that's helping the offshore bite. So honestly, Saturday it's going to be pick your poison. Probably there's going to be some good fish caught up shallow. There's going to be big fish caught out deep. As far as weight, I have no idea. 30 could be done. Over 30 could be done. If, if some of them fish still stay where they're at, it could be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kevin, you got anything else?
I don't believe. Oh, wait. No, I did have one other. So, and we talked about this off air. So, Steve, his best 5 was 40 pounds. And I asked him this question a while ago, and we added up the math, best he can remember. His second 5 was 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, Cody, you had a 5.5 and a 5 that didn't make and a 4 that didn't make your bag, right?
Something like that.
He can't do all the math, Steve. That's
You
how.
told 5.5 pounds. That's pretty strong. I mean, good gosh.
Cody, congrats, man. Proud for you, and good luck this weekend in Bass Champs, and I wish you guys the best. Hopefully, we'll have you on again next week.
Yeah,
absolutely. I hope so.
Next week we'll need GPS coordinates, Cody.
I got plenty of them. There's only a handful that's any good.
Hey, okay, man. We appreciate you, Cody. Good luck this week, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, Cody Pitt, and winner of the PFL over on Toledo Bend, and boy, he gave some good detail there, Kevin. It was a good interview. I think, considering that he didn't want to share a whole lot, he still gave us enough information there to go.
He gave us a lot. I mean, he gave us more than probably I would give in that situation. I mean, he gave you everything but where, what he was dialed in on. See, when you catch 5 fish for 40 pounds and caught them off of 4 different spots, you're dialed in, and you're dialed into what them fish are on, if it's a structure, if it's a point, whatever it is. And I have no idea. I don't want to know from Cody, but that is on another level of dialed in to catch that size of fish in that many different spots. He told us the baits. So that takes dialed into another level.
To me, again, the most impressive thing, other than Cody catching 40 pounds, co-angler catching 23 out of the back of the boat. That's just hard to do, because even as a co-angler, and we've all kind of been there before, where the guy in the front is pointing the boat in a certain direction, you're not supposed to throw past him or anything, and you're just basically fishing dead water sometimes. But it sounded like there was fish all around wherever Cody was at. So, because again, that's hard to do out of the back of the boat, 23-pound back, and win the tournament. Both guys out of the same boat. Out of 147 anglers, the same 2 guys in the same boat win. That's crazy, man. That's impressive. So we're going to take another break, and we'll go over the final results of this BFL, and we'll discuss upcoming events, especially the Bass Champs coming up on Toledo Bend, as you're watching Tackle Talk Live.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live, this final segment presented by Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, and the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas. 2 locations, one in Nacogdoches and one right there in Broadus, Texas, off the banks of Sam Rayburn Reservoir. Kevin, BFL results, go over those real quick, top to bottom here.
First place, Cody Pitt, 39.15. Second place, Tater Reynolds, 31.14 with a 12-pounder. Third place, Cal Cameron had 23.02. Fourth place, Michael Powell had 20 pounds, 7 ounces. And fifth place, I know he's probably watching the show today, Casey Tate had 19.13. And it took 29th place was the last check. Hannah Greider had 4 for 10.11. So, Steve, we're talking about all this great things to live in. And I don't want to throw, again, I don't want to make it sound like we're saying that Toledo Bend is just awesome and on fire right now. It's not. It's tough. It's not easy. Not everybody's doing what Cody's doing. Nobody else is doing what Cody's doing.
Yeah.
And Tater had 32 with a 12. We had a 12, a 13, 11, and 2 10s caught.
Right.
But the fishing's not easy. It's not. And I was out there Saturday and Sunday, and it's not easy to get bit. It's really not.
I put some numbers together here when I started looking at the results, and I thought, wow, fishing wasn't that all. I mean, some big fish were caught, but overall, the fishing was pretty tough. 20% of the field, only 20% of the field caught a 5-fish limit. 107 anglers did not catch a 5-bag limit out of the 147. So that's tough. I mean, a lot of guys, you saw a lot of 2-fish bags, 3-fish bags, 1 fish. I mean, you saw a lot of that on down the standings, and you're like, wow, you were either on them or you were struggling, is what it looked like.
Well, the little bit, I was on the water that I found out was they're grouped up really bad. The ones I found, not like a group, but they're all saturated in one spot. You were either catching a few, and I didn't catch a whole lot, but I caught a few, or you didn't catch anything. It's not like catching one here or there. For me, it wasn't, But again, 5 over 10 in one day in one tournament. I mean, that's impressive. It really is.
And real quick on the co-angler side, Leroy D. Shepard was the winner on the co-angler with 23.11. Again, he was fishing with Cody. Mike Fagan had finished second with 17.14, and a good friend of ours, Ray Welsh from Shreveport, finished third with 12.08. And so congratulations to those top 3 guys over there as co-anglers on Toledo Bend.
If we had a cow cutter for this weekend bass chance, how much would Cody get sold for?
Woo! Or Tater Reynolds. I mean, he's one of those guys. You better put your money on those guys. Again, just because some guys are catching them right now, don't go over there thinking you're just going to load the boat right now, because it's, again, Kevin, time of year. It's first week in February. It's still early. And even now this week with the warming trend, there's going to be a lot of fish pull up roaming, looking for bed sites. There'll be some females that come up and roam around a little bit in that warmer water, but it's still early. And but of course, again, northern part of the lake is where it's going to start, and those are the fish up shallow, right? That could be up there shallow this week. The north end of the lake, Kevin, could play big in this tournament for bass champs.
Well, and there's another thing that goes along with bass champs this weekend, Steve. There's about 150 boat high school tournament going out of Fin and Feather.
Oh,
it is a trailering tournament. I've got a buddy of them that's fishing it. It is a trailering tournament, but they've got about 150 boats that they will be weighing in at Fin and Feather on Saturday. So a whole bunch of boats on the water.
Yeah, it's going to be a little crowded. And so hopefully the wind will lay where everybody can get around good and spread everybody out. That's what causes problems at Toledo Bend when you got to run the boat roads and you get a dead south or a dead north wind. It can really make it tough to get around. Real quick, lake levels. I do have Toledo Bend right now. Current elevation is 171.43. That's 6.84 inches low right now. So we're less than a foot low. The 10-day gain's been 2 feet, 2.07 feet in 10 days. 24-hour gain has been 2.04 inches, even with them pulling water. And Kevin, a lot of rain coming in the next 2 days, especially north of Toledo Bend. That Sabine River is going to come up again, and it's going to push water down, and it could still be on the rise this weekend.
Yeah, they're pulling hard, but yeah, you're right. It definitely could be. And I'm like Cody. I don't like to hear that. I don't like to hear the rising water. I want it falling for what I'm doing. And yeah, I didn't realize it was already up that high. I hadn't checked it today. I checked it yesterday. But you're right. With the rain we're going to get the next 2 days, it could definitely still be on the rise.
Sam Rayburn, current elevation is 163.33. That's 1.0 feet low. It's come up pretty good. 2.1 feet in 10 days, 2.16 inches in the last 24 hours. So it as well is also still on the rise right now.
Yeah, Sam Rayburn has shot up. They're not generating or pulling or anything over there, not like Toledo Bend is anyway. So it has shot up. I remember back first tournament of the year, we were talking about how dangerously low it was, and you couldn't even run in some places.
Right.
So in a month's time, it has shot up. So and that's good for Sam Rayburn. That's very good for Sam.
Yeah. Also, besides coming up this weekend, Kevin, I think you'll be in that Bass Champs tournament February 11th. The next weekend, Texas Team Trail is going to be at Sam Rayburn. So a lot of guys will be over there at Rayburn scouting this week, I'm sure, for that. Don't see anything for this weekend major at Rayburn, but I'm sure there's something going on, high school, whatever, but maybe some smaller events. But Kevin, I mean, that's pretty much what's going on this month right now at Toledo Bend. Things are starting to kind of spread out a little bit now. I know the ABA tournament trail, it doesn't come to Toledo Bend for a while. The East Texas division definitely doesn't show up there till June. But the next thing you have ABA Solo 150. That's still a tournament that's the last week of May when that tournament comes over to Toledo Bend. So nothing, like I said, but there's still a lot going on and a lot to fish out there. If you're looking for something to fish, you don't have trouble finding something to fish.
No, definitely not. There's still a lot of big tournaments coming up. You got Texas Team Trail, Outlaw Outdoors coming up on Sam Rayburn. Very, very busy March in Toledo Bend. I know you got the Despino tournament. There's no BFL. You got the Poche tournament the 25th. You got the V&M tournament on the 26th out of Cypress. We'll have more information on that coming out very, very soon. But yeah, I mean, you got busy March on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. I mean, you want to fish a tournament, you have no trouble finding something to fish for sure.
Nope, not at all. So, Kip, that's all I got. You got anything else?
That's all I got for today. I know, let's see, the MLF Invitational start this week. Elite Series starts up next week. So we're fixing to be full-blown fishing season. I'm excited and ready to watch some more live. So we got a lot of things coming up, Steve, in the fishing world.
Yep, and if you hadn't signed up, look at the Solo 150 Tour, $600 entry fee. The first tournament is on Rayburn, March 17th and 18th out of Castle Boykin. And so if you're looking for something else to fish, the Solo 150 Tour, they're taking registrations as we speak. It's a great circuit. It's going to be a lot of people, I think, jump in that this year. So looking forward to the turnout on that. All right, that's all I got. Kevin.
That's all I got.
Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning us in today. Check us out on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, all you got to do, message us on our Facebook page. Kevin will get a packet out to you ASAP. And if you know anybody looking to become a sponsor or needing some advertisement, hey, what a better place. Or we can't say thank you enough to everybody that's tuning us in each week. We're averaging over 2,000 views per week right now between YouTube, our Facebook page, and the numbers are growing. All thanks to you guys. We appreciate you. Help spread the word. For Steve Graff and Kevin Jean, you've been watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll see you next week.